Hi, I'm Mrs. K, and today I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. I want to talk with you about some of my favorite sweeteners that are good for a low-carb, keto, or diabetic-friendly diet. These are sweeteners that will not affect your blood sugar much, they will not affect your weight much, and you can use them in place of sugar, but in different methods. So I just want to share the ones that I use. All of these products that I'm going to share with you today, I buy from Amazon in India. This one is stevia drops. I just used 1 or 2 drops to sweeten a large beverage. This is a stevia powder. I would recommend using this in incredibly small quantities for making a large batch of things, but the actual best use I have for this powder is in mixing with other sweeteners to make my own sugar substitute, which I will show you how to do today. This is Lakanto monk fruit sweetener, the golden variant, which is a brown sugar replacement. And you can see, if you look through the bag, it looks a lot like brown sugar. This is Lakanto monk fruit sweetener, the classic variant, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's just a white powder. I hope you can see that. It looks a lot like sugar. I use this one in baking as is, as a replacement for sugar, and I find it's very acceptable. But I often use this in part, and then with this in part, which is So Sweet Stevia from Herboveda. This one is actually a mixture of stevia and erythritol. And this is what it looks like. It looks slightly different from sugar. I hope you can see that. And when I sweeten a beverage, I use about that much, which is about a teaspoon. If it's a very large beverage, I don't sweeten things to make them too sweet. But this is a mixture of stevia and erythritol, which I will talk to you a bit more about. So here is erythritol, this is xylitol, and this is the pure stevia powder, which my best use for is in a mixture with erythritol and xylitol. Now, xylitol, I have to give you a warning about. If you have dogs, or if you love dogs, if there are street dogs in your neighborhood, this will kill dogs. It is poisonous. It causes their blood sugar to drop to such a low level that it is usually fatal if they consume it, unless they get to the vet on time and get treatment. I have 2 dogs, so when I use anything with xylitol in it, I have a rule in my house. There are no leftovers put in the garbage. Everything must be consumed by humans. It's not harmful to humans, but it will hurt dogs. It will kill dogs. So I don't even allow anyone to put half a muffin in the garbage. If they take it, they have to eat it, because this is so toxic to dogs. I don't let anything go to the trash that is made with xylitol. I use it because I find I get the best sugar substitute by combining xylitol and erythritol, but I do so only with taking extreme precaution. Erythritol is one you hear a lot about if you're doing a keto diet. Almost all keto recipes contain erythritol in some sort. It's technically a little bit lower carb than xylitol, But the flavor is different, and I find you get the best sugar substitute by combining erythritol, xylitol, and the stevia powder, which I'm going to do right here. So the way I make my sugar substitute, it's really easy. This is 1 kilogram of erythritol, 1 kilogram of xylitol, and I'm going to need 5 teaspoons of stevia powder. And that's really it. So I get a big Tupperware container that's airtight because I make this sweetener in advance. What I like to do is just mix all of them up. So you just pour some erythritol, pour some xylitol. This one came with a gift voucher. There you go. And then I'll put my first teaspoon of stevia in there. So that's 1 teaspoon. And I'll pour a little bit more erythritol, a little bit more xylitol, and my second teaspoon. A little bit more. I do them in layers so that they mix better and you get a better sugar substitute. And here is my third stevia. Now, like I said, you be incredibly careful when you have xylitol and dogs. You never leave baked goods on the counter. In fact, we don't even eat them when the dogs are around. And if you have children and you're worried that they might feed your dog, do not use xylitol. So here's the last of the xylitol. Be extra cautious to get all of that out. And here we go. This is my 5th teaspoon, I hope. And now what I do is I just put this lid on. And then I just give it a good shake. Now I found you can get a better tasting sweetener by adding vanilla beans. So I've recently bought these blue tea organic vanilla grade A+ Kerala vanilla beans. And I'm just going to put 2 in my sugar substitute. I'm going to carefully clean this counter afterwards so my dogs don't lick anything. Now, by adding vanilla to this and keeping it airtight for a few weeks, you get a mild vanilla flavor in the sweetener, and I find it makes a much better sugar substitute in coffee. So you can see it looks a lot like sugar, and the vanilla is sitting in there. I have some already made that I'm using up, and I'm going to just wait for the vanilla flavor to get through the sugar, artificial sugar, made of sugar alcohols, and just give it a few weeks, and you have a much more sugar-like flavor, and it's excellent in baked goods. This is a sugar substitute that I use especially in certain types of candy where you won't get the same consistency if you were trying to just use this monk fruit sweetener or the stevia powder. So I use this for very specific recipes. Today I'm planning on baking some muffins. This will not be in the recipe. This one I keep very rarely to use because of the toxicity for dogs. I only use this when the other sweeteners will not do for certain candy just because these won't get me the desired results. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But all of these products I'm shared here today, I got on Amazon. Some of them are fairly expensive. The best advice I can give you, for example, if you want to buy this Lecanto monk fruit sweetener, go on Amazon and add it to your wish list. If the price drops down, if there's a deal of the day, which does happen from time to time, Amazon will send you an email and let you know that the price of something on your wish list has dropped. These are not inexpensive sweeteners. They do cost a lot of money to use. They are not like sugar, in that sugar is readily available and economical. But if you're a diabetic and it comes down to, do you want to spend more on the food you eat, or do you want to spend more on medication, you're better off paying more for your food. These are not traditional. Nothing I've shared today is what I would call an artificial sweetener, like sucralose or Splenda or aspartame. The traditional artificial sweeteners are actually chemical compositions. These are actually made from sugar alcohols, monk fruit powder, which is from a plant, stevia, which is from a plant, and these are all items that are more natural and don't have the same side effects that some of the traditional sweeteners that diabetics might use do. There's a reason these are more commonly used for those that are doing keto and trying to improve their health. These are healthier than artificial sweeteners. I don't call them artificial sweeteners. They're just different sweeteners. These are in a class called sugar alcohols, which you can do some research on. If you're not used to them, having too much of them can cause some digestive issues, but otherwise, they're much better for your health than sugar. So anyhow, thank you.